progress. So let's thank Shlomo and Shiri again for hosting. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. All of you guys are amazing. And happy to part two. Bezrat Hashem. Chinuch Shiur part two. Part three is going to be at the Conti's house. Bezrat Hashem. Part four, the bench retreats. So we're looking forward. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, so part two has been titled Hearts Full of Love. Hearts Full of Love. So the first one was relationships. Today's Hearts Full of Love. It's going to be kind of similar. This is our children. This is the best relationship we want, the strongest relationship we want. Also, of course, with our spouse. And now we're going to try to, Bezrat Hashem, show how we could get that best relationship with our child, the best that we can. Chinuch over the past generation has changed very, it could be even very, very often, maybe last generation, the generation before, they used to teach their children with an iron fist or a backhand or a front hand, however you want to call it. Now it's all about love. It's hearts full of love. And things change. Kids, there's now AI. There's like in our schools, like how we're going to deal with AI, or even just general schools, like phones in school. Like there's always things are always developing. We have to keep our finger on the pulse always. So let's try to see what some of the a little bit of age-old stuff, but it's very, very important. You're going to see, God willing, it'll be good stuff. So I just first want to go through a little bit of the ages, general tidbits of ages, and then we're going to get into this amazing book, which we'll explain when we get there. We've got a one-pager today, Shlomo, and then 100 pages in this book. So basically like this. Let's start infants. Infants, they teeth, they don't sleep. Mother and father, let's say, are stressed, like, oh, the baby's not sleeping. Yeah, father, yeah, sure. I know, I gotta, but the husband's gotta be there. He's gotta help out. He's gotta give his wife encouragement. He's gotta gotta help it. And now it's like the baby. It's the baby's young, right? So there's not that much chinuch going on, right? Hearts Full of Love, we're gonna see, is about sending love to the child, and we're gonna talk about that primarily in this shiur. Here it's about sending love to your wife. You've got the one dealing with the baby. Send love to your wife. Chas v'shalom, postpartum depression is mainly caused because the husband doesn't help out as much as he's supposed to. So we're not turning this into the Shalom Bayit class, but 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds' favorite word is no. They want to exist. They want to do things themselves. It's normal. The child is breaking away from the parents. Chinuch is one of the aspects of chinuch is transfer of power and giving them the right to make their own decisions. So at each one, at their age, at their stage, a 2-year-old, okay, so do you want Rice Krispies or do you want, Frosted Flakes? Let them make a decision. Let them grow up, right? So each one at their age, at their stage, to give them the right of decision, the transfer of power. And you want to give them choices. You don't want to try forcing things down them. You want to try giving them choices. An interesting thing here is, let's say you want them to do something. And no, you have to do it this way. Or you give them the choice. You can do it this way, or you can go to your room. It's your choice. Like, I love you. It's not a force, right? So, okay, you're cornering them kind of, but in a certain way, you're giving them a choice. Okay. Sibling rivalry. I know I'm going through it a little bit quickly. Generalization, and we'll get into a lot of nice specifics and important yesodot in chinuch. Sibling rivalry is normal. Fighting among kids is normal, but could be that it's caused sometimes by parents not giving enough love, not giving enough attention. Parents are stressed, a lot going on at work, a lot going on all the time, and they're therefore, maybe even subconsciously fighting to get some attention. I know, Dad, you're busy, even at home on your computer, on your whatever, but I'm doing all this stuff so I could get some of your attention. I came home from school, no one talked to me, and they want that, they need that. And sometimes parents only show that love or only show that smile when they did something good. Oh, you got a good test score. Wow, I'm so happy for you, whatever. Regular day to day, it's like, that's always rules. Go to your room, do this, eat that, sit here, don't touch, do this, right? And the love they see is only, they have to like do something to get. No, no, they don't need to do anything. There are children. They have to, that love has to come all the time. There's, remember saying that a person, when we're living in Israel, a very smart person, maybe he was a psychologist, he said 18 out of 19 things we tell our children are negative. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't touch. It's always, and therefore we got to try, we got to be mindful of that and switch that to the positive. Teenagers are in a twilight zone. They're lost, meaning they're going from child to adult, and they don't know, and they're trying to navigate. No, I'm an adult, but they still do a lot of things like children. So they're in that middle thing. They need our guidance. They don't want to hear our guidance because they know it all, because they think they're adults, but they need our guidance. So we have to bear with them. We have to understand their we have to understand their time frame in their life. They're a teenager. They're leaving childhood, going to adult, and then this middle zone where again they think they know it all. So yeah, so we need to and hopefully through some of the things we're going to learn today, have that relationship already where when they're in that twilight zone, we're there for them and they will accept our guidance. How does that happen? Um, Often we need to ask them questions. Are you okay? How could I help? How could I do? And build that relationship, and we'll see, God willing, how to do it. Married children, that's it. There's no more control there. They're married, but of course, parents are always parents. Lead by example as parents. You're always your child's parent, and they always look up to you. And therefore, if they're at that stage, lead by example. Offer them advice. Don't force it down the throat. Don't tell them you have to take my advice. You're a married man now. You're a big boy. Here's my advice. I love you. Choose it, take it or leave it. Here's my advice. I'm older than you. I have life experience, etc. Okay, I know that was kind of quick, going through the ages and stages, but hopefully from this great book, we'll talk about it in show right now. We'll get some important yesodot for important foundations for Chinuch in general. So this rabbi is Rabbi Hoffman. That's the first name. Rabbi Hoffman. Okay, it's not the first time today that I'm going to be stuck in the book reading, and you'll see why. But this Rabbi Shlomo Hoffman, he there's this. So basically, how I got this book, someone stayed at my house who was he just wanted to thank me, and he didn't bring anything or a bottle of wine. He didn't have to thank me, but he said, "Have you ever heard of this?" Whatever. I said, "No." And he said, "Oh my gosh, you have to do this." And he gave me his copy, and he's like, "I'm telling you, got to read it. You got to this is like the latest like mindset of chinuch. You have to." And when I was in Israel in July, in the Sfarim stores, you see, I think he just passed away, maybe not that, maybe a year ago or so, and his books are coming out. And he's basically a revolutionary in chinuch. His profession by trade was a psychologist, but he dealt with like rehabilitating like criminals that no one wants to touch, and somehow he rehabilitated them. And we're gonna see like how they do it. Like what's the special sauce that this person had, and we're gonna see his dealings with great rabbis as well. And his method is what we're gonna be basically concentrating on. So Baruch Hashem, I put a good amount of hours into the shiur. The good amount of hours was reading through the book and writing notes. I didn't get to the point of enough hours to put it all onto my notes and pages. So it's kind of going to be going through. I have my pages down here that I want to read. Not that many, okay, so guys, don't look. But we're gonna get some important things done. His main thing, and that's the pasuk quoted here in Mishle. We recently did this. Kamaim apanim lepanim. Just like when you look at water, you see your face. Just like a face to water is a face, you see your reflection. Can live ha'adam la'adam. So too is a person's heart to another heart. So a heart can't see another heart. But this is the pasuk Shlomo Melech, and Rabbi Hoffman takes this to the next level. Shlomo Melech is telling us that it's like you could see your face in a mirror, see your face in water. So too you should know the way your heart feels about someone else, they could feel it. They could feel what's going on in your heart. That's Shlomo Melech. And that's like, it's a mirror. You will see yourself in the mirror. They will feel what you're feeling in your heart about them. They will feel it. As much as you could hide it or whatever, they will feel. And they is not your children. This pasuk is about anyone. This is between two people, whatever, right? A person will feel the feelings. I get a bad feeling about that person, right? It comes up, right? And like I feel like he's not. Yeah. So we have these feelings. This is the heart to the heart is very important, and he uses this for raising our children. He also uses this for students as well. Some of the examples here are going to be rabbi-student relationship, etc. So his thing is, we see here everything. Okay, let's start. Let's go into the book. Okay, so yeah, page 7 is the first page here. Okay, so you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit when I have to just kind of scan through and then let's say, everything transfers from one heart to another. Everything transfers. Sometimes a wife would tell her husband, "Why are you upset at me?" I was like, "I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't think." You could just be thinking it. You could just be feeling it, and there's a transfer. And generally, guys, women are more intuitive in these feelings than guys are. The Chachamim call it bina yetera. They have another level of understanding, and they could feel it much easier than we can. Okay, it's not a made up thing, as we see. This is the pasuk from Shlomo Melech. Sometimes people think that I could talk one way to someone, but in my heart, it really bothers me what this guy did, and but I could hide that. That feeling will transfer. Will they find out about it today? Will they find out about it tomorrow? Sometimes it can be automatic that they can feel that feeling from you. Sometimes it takes time. It's not, you can't read what's going on in my heart, but right now, but it does transfer over. It does transfer over. God forbid, anger, hatred, any type of feelings that you have in your heart towards someone else, that person feels it. Are they, he even goes so far to say that a person could be very far in the world. It doesn't have to be right in front of me. It could be a person who's on the other side of the world. If I'm sending him good feelings, he could feel that. Now, if I now have good feelings about Michael Jordan, please, I want to meet you, or I want to, right? Does that mean that now he's like, oh, there's Rabbi Hazulai in Toronto. He's feeling good feelings for you, right? No, he can't. If he knows me and if he's in tune with me, there could be that. But people could give off good feelings to another, even if it's heart to heart, is even if it's not right in front of the person. Okay, he gives an example. So now it is getting into parenting and children. A friend called you at 3 a.m. He said, I'm not feeling well. Can you do me a favor and go to the shoppers and get me some medicine, right? So basically, depending on how close of a friend that friend is to you, you would do it. Right? If the guy's like a really an acquaintance, like, can you call the next acquaintance on your Rolodex? Like, what are you calling me for? If it's your parent that's calling you, you're gonna go and do it. But it all depends, or maybe a good friend, you're gonna do it, right? It all depends on how much love. Step one. Okay. Step one. How do you have that great relationship with your child? How do you you're sending good love from your heart? How do they feel it? So Number one, Rabbi Hoffman says, calls it in Hebrew, koach emun, like the word emunah. You have to have belief in him, her, belief in the child. I believe in you. You are great. You will be great. You could do it. Believe in your child, right? That is, he says here a story of a big story that got Rabbi Hoffman on the map was this guy named Uzi who was in jail and some bad stuff and could be even murder, bad stuff. It doesn't stay with it, but they and so he was a psychologist, and this man had as in jail, he had a psychology like a one-on-one now, and Rabbi Hoffman was like new and whatever, and they brought this Uzi to the guy to Rabbi Hoffman, and they brought him in handcuffs and chains on his feet because he's a very dangerous guy to have their one-on-one session. And he told the guards, take off his handcuffs, take off his everything. I said, what do you mean? No, he's in jail. He's in jail. You're in jail. This guy's maximum, this guy does for, take off his handcuffs, take off. And they finally listened to him. And that was the start of their eventual good relationship and this guy getting a little bit better, or very better. So everybody, and what was it? He believed in him. He treated him like a human being. He didn't treat him like a murderer or like a whatever he was. He didn't have it in his head. He had it in his head. The love he sent him was, "You're great. You could do this. You could get over this. This is not you. You could be better than this." And from that perspective, and he showed him, take off your thing, take off your shackles, take off you're gonna, and he talked to him like a regular person, and that was the start. You believe in your child. You believe in him. You believe in her. That is huge. And they asked him, all these psychologists. He writes here, and they said, "How did you do this?" He said, "I did everything that my rabbi did to me." His quotes his Rabbi Isaac Sher, a famous rabbi, and he always just believed in me. He always believed in me, and that is step one. Step one is believing in your child. Step one is again sending love and believing in your child. He's good. He is great. He will get over this. Negative thoughts, negative feelings is going to bear negative on them. And it's going to put them in a box. Oh, he can't do this. He's limited. Oh, he can never do that. You can never, even my kids, the students I teach, I say, you could be whatever you want to be, whatever you put your mind to be. Don't ever limit yourself. Don't ever think that you can't do it. You could do it. And this koach is so important, the koach and believing in them. And he brings a story. I remember hearing briefly about the story as a kid in yeshiva growing up, and here he says it a little bit more in detail. That the great rabbi, Rav Shach, Zecher Tzidkei Bracha, I just missed his funeral. I was living in Israel. I was already down on my way to Dimona to visit my aunt for Shabbat. It was early Shabbat, and we heard that he passed away in Bnei Brak, the Rosh Yeshiva, the Panovich Yeshiva, one of Gdolei Hador. 600,000 people at his funeral, and I was in Dimona. But anyways, he was in Bnei Brak. It was, and the way I heard it, I heard one of his sons. I heard it was off the derech or was not off the derech. He only had like two children, a boy and a girl. And I'm like what? Rav Shach is like, what happened? So, what happened was not revealed here. What happened? But it seems like his son's name is named Ephraim. His son Ephraim. It seems like this was pre-1948, and a lot of people, including Rabbi Ovadia Yosef's brothers, actually, were very involved in the Palmach and the Etzel, which was the pre-1948 army, like these troops against, against the British, So it was actually, I think Rabbi Ovadia Yosef has a story where I think on the day of his wedding, his brothers threw a grenade and blew up something, and they ran back and they got just in time for the wedding. And you guys are crazy, the cops can come after you. Like his brothers, Rabbi Yosef's brothers, were very involved in. Anyway, it seems like a lot of yeshiva boys were dragged into that, and for Rabbi Shach's son, that was not his thing. And Rav Hoffman says, Rav Hoffman was only 20 years old at the time. Rav Shach was 50, dealing with his teenage son. And somehow he saw that this young student at 20 years old had already some chokhmah in, and he would ask him and speak to him. And Rav Shach saved his son. And what does it mean, save his son? Did he become a yeshiva bacher? He didn't. We're going to see. But he still saved his son. And we'll see what that means. But Rav Shach never got angry at his son. Rav Shach believed in his son. He said, "You like okay." He sent him love. He went to the army. He sent him food. He sent him money. He sent him letters. He sent him love. He was that was his main thing. Rav he sent him love to the point that the son now feels my father loves me. My father cares for me. Father believes in me. I know I'm not doing the thing that he wants me to do, but with all this love, I still have a connection with him. It's not going to be like, get out of here. How can you do such a thing and this? And there'll be no connection anymore. And who knows what? Because of that connection, he remained religious. That's the minimum that Rav Shach wanted, and he was happy with it. And he says a story how his son came to him and said, I want to go study in South Africa. And back in the day, South Africa, what community was there? It was basically a ticket to like leaving Torah and whatever. And his father told him, Rav Shach said, Rav Shach's son Ephraim came to Rav Hoffman and said, I want a $5,000 loan because I want to go to South Africa. And to start off there, I need some money. I want a $5,000 loan. So Rav Hoffman said, okay, let me get back to you. He went to Rav Shach to tell him the story of the father. And Rav Shach said, how about this? I'm going to speak to my son. I'm going to give him the money, $5,000. I'm pay that. But I'm going to tell him, why don't you, you're going to go to South Africa. Maybe they don't have a shochet. Maybe they don't have a chazan. You have a really good voice. And you're very learned. Why don't you become a shochet? So you go down there, you'll have something in your hands. And actually, that's what he did. And he went down there, and he became like a mini rabbi for whatever community was there. Meanwhile, he was studying. He was a very big, I think he's a psychologist. Eventually, of Shach's son became a psychologist at Tilumi. But he remained religious. His own children went to the army and stuff, like Rav Shach's grandchildren. But when they would come and visit Rav Shach, he would accept them and everything. And Rav Shach, he was He was known and notorious at that time. That being against Chabad. He was like fire against certain things that were not like in the box of Bnei Brak. With his son, this is my son. This is the son Hashem gave me. This is my child. I can't just throw him to the wayside. This is my everything. I have to do anything to be out of the box to save him from being not religious. He told Rav Hoffman, he said, I want my son to stop smoking. So Rav Hoffman said, you smoke. To Rav Shach. He said, how can your son to stop? He says, why do you want your son to stop smoking? He says, I'm worried if he might have the temptation to smoke on Shabbat. He says, if you stop, and then your son, will learn from you and how maybe smoking is bad, whatever. And that's what happened. Rav Shach eventually stopped, and his son followed. His son followed because there was that built-in love, that connection. He brings a sad story with another rabbi that had a son that was a little bit problematic, and Rav Hoffman told the rabbi, he said, your son needs love. Your son needs attention. Take him bowling. He's not in yeshiva. Take him bowling. The rabbi said, what? Someone like me with a long jacket going bowling? That's going to be Chilul Hashem. How could I go? That's not. He said, please, I beg you, take your son out. Show him you love him. Show him you care for him. Believe in him. Be on his level a little bit. In that case, that rabbi didn't do it. And Hoffman says, I know the son today, and he's not connected to his father. He's not connected to anything, and it's a sad thing. Believing in your son, caring for him, recognizing him at his level, finding that common denominator between him. This is all steps of showing him love, showing him you care, no matter what. I love you. You're my son. I love you, and I believe in you. You could become everything and anything. There's an amazing line here. I'll read it in Hebrew and I'll translate it in English. Kol yeled ba'olam tzarich sheyeh lo mishu echad ba'olam sheyamin bo. Every person in the world needs someone in the world that will believe in him. Everyone needs someone that believes in him. You need someone that believes in you. If there's no one that believes in you, chas shalom, who knows? Who knows what could happen? Yeah. I believe I could fly. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they come in with you. There's a psychologist, Robert
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in Boston, but I've heard him speak in person. Some law firms brought him in, and he talks about a child just needs one caring adult, one, like, because Racheli just said that, and like just that island to know that person is a
always there for
teacher,
them.
sometimes it's a religious
Always
leader,
there for them, no
and
matter
then
what.
like just sees them,
Right.
like sees them,
Right.
not what you did or what you were late or you were this, just complete, and that he said turns it completely or can turn someone a completely.
100%. Actually, there's
Yeah, so this Robert Brooks,
Like, in
like,
that situation.
yeah, he writes books and he does
That's why
videos. It's very interesting. Yeah.
If I did say like an entrepreneurship, like to have a mentor, it's like probably one of the
yeah, you have someone you could just open up to and
right. It's a different relationship.
there's someone actually, he messaged me. I didn't speak to this person in 3-4 years. I didn't hear his message yet. He unfortunately has tattoos and not really connected, but we had a connection a good amount of years ago. And I'm happy that he might be going through something. He just sent me a message before. He might be going through something, but I think through the relationship that we had, he knows he can reach out to me, and he knows I'm going to give him love and I'm going to take care of him. I'm going to help him the best I can. And I didn't hear his message yet, but yeah. Okay. But I'm trying to decipher my own notes over here that I wrote.
I tell my kids all the time, I believe in you, but I believe in you. You can take out the garbage.
Then they don't do it. Do it.
Believe in me, mom.
What happens when they say that?
It says to me all the time.
Yeah.
But I believe in you. You can do it. That's a good one.
You know, that was back to my parents worked all the time. And it was like my basketball coach. I kind of like taught me a lot of
Life stuff.
Yeah. Work ethic, discipline, all that stuff.
Here he brings a story, a father and son, and the father was very strict on his son.
Sabrina.
Here he brings a story, a father and son. The father was very strict on his son, and the son wasn't connecting. He kept on being very strict and very strict, very strict, until the father somehow he got it on his own, and he sent him a letter. It seems like there was letters. Maybe he was in yeshiva or he was in army. I don't know where he was. He finally sent him a letter, and he said, I see that the strict way isn't working. Please, I'm sorry for acting like that. Do me a favor. I guess next time you come home, I want to go on a walk with you. And the son testified that they went on a walk, and there was no rules on the walk. There was no like, oh, you better do this, you better do that. Why aren't you doing this? Let's just talk. Where are you at in your life? What's going on? How are you? What's going on? And the way this son says, he says, it was for him. He said, I was like walking with my father in Gan Eden. I finally could talk to him about it's not always rules. I finally could have a conversation with him. We're just talking and schmoozing and chilling. And we're just joking around, we're just talking, we're just having a good time together. And how important that is. Finally, Abba nafal ha'asimon, and he saved his son. Now he saved the relationship with his son. There was I don't know if this was an example or a real story. I think it was a real story. How a father was on his son's back for like religious things, like, what are you doing? Come on, come to Shachrit, come to this. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Everything was a negative. The son tells his father, Dad, I decided I'm not religious anymore. I'm not religious anymore. That's it. You're always down my back, whatever. I'm not religious anymore. So the father, he was very upset, this and that. He didn't kick his son out of the house. He didn't want to do that, but he was very upset. Next morning, the father goes to Shachrit, and the son is there, Shachrit, with tefillin on and everything. And he said he doesn't want to be religious. It's okay. He didn't say anything. Fine. He gets home from breakfast. He sees the son do netilat yadayim, hamotzi, kat hamazon. Okay, my son told me he doesn't want to be religious, but he's doing all these religious things. Okay. And it keeps on going like that. Another day, the kid's doing all these religious things. He told me he doesn't want to be religious. What's happening? Finally, the father, after a week, he said, my son, I love you so much. What's going on over here? You told me you want to be religious, and now you're doing all the religious things. He said an amazing thing. He said, Dad, when I was religious, you would always point out all the not religious things I'm doing and be down my back about it. So I told you I'm not religious. And now you're looking at every mitzvah that I'm doing. Wow, look at that mitzvah he's doing. Wow, Chazak Baruch, look at that mitzvah I'm doing. So look at me as I'm not religious. Right? So this is a relationship father and son. The father has to get it. In these cases, we parents, we have to get it. Have that loving relationship with our child, and it's not always. Are you in the rules right now? Are you no? Yes, and then go here, go there, go to your room. It's got to be love. It's got to be connection. It's got to be just schmoozing, just chilling, having a strong connection. We had a few weeks ago in the parasha, and I think I might have mentioned this to our Torah maybe a year last year. I didn't say it this year. When Yehuda finally he tells Yosef about the situation that you took Binyamin, our father's going to be very pleased. Like we need Binyamin, and then Yosef breaks, and Yosef says Ani Yosef. He reveals himself that he's Yosef. Like what changed at that point? The Orach HaKadosh says that I'm not sure where he gets the source from, but the Orach HaKadosh says that Yehuda used this concept of sending love to Yosef. The whole time it was a battle. Yosef, your second to Paro, they didn't know it was Yosef. And like, why are you trying to take Binyamin? We have to go back to our father. What's going on here? And it was a battle. Yehuda finally says, you know what? I'm gonna send them love. And he says through that, now he was getting feelings of love. He was not getting feelings. Maybe you compare it to a small comparison. A friend of mine, he was having issues in the Misrad Pnim in Israel. We've lived in Israel before. The Ministry of Interior. So for passports and stuff like that, and visa extensions. Baruch Hashem, the bureaucracy in Israel. Baruch Hashem, a lot of red tape, a lot of stuff. He was going, and they said, "You're missing this paper. Go back." He's like, "Oh my God, go! You're missing this paper." And this lady was like, "Mrs. Strict." Then he decides one day. Comes with the idea himself. Comes and Baruch Hashem, Jewish ladies, Jewish people, what? He came with a box of cookies, and he said, "Man, I don't know if he made this part up, but he said, it's my birthday. I want to share my birthday with you. Here's some cookies on my birthday." He said she melted. That was it. She got the paper, no paper, it all worked out, right? You send love, the love's the recipient's gonna be back, right? What? Catch my music, honey. Exactly.
There's a guy on Instagram. I was a lot of guys. He goes on to airplanes, and the first thing he does is he to the stewardesses or the captain $100 with a taco bar. Basically, like
That's it. I remember going. You remind me of that.
Everybody's looking like they're coming in every 5 minutes. Like everybody.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Someone taught me that when I went, a lot of Israeli weddings.
Not at all.
All right.
All chocolate is usually free, like big bag.
And
And give it to stewardesses.
wow.
Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You bribe them for the kids.
Yeah.
I remember someone doing that at an Israeli wedding. A lot of times there's no place cards. So you get up to dance and like someone else is in your seat on the way back. And you ask for maybe it's the religious weddings. I don't know. You ask the guy for food. He's like, no, like, I don't know. There's like the guy, when he sits down his thing, he gives a 50 shekel tip to the waiter. That's it. Food thing, when he doubles, when he this. That's that's the way it goes. So the $5 bill. That would change. That would change. That's a fast track for the whole book. That's a fast track.
Doesn't work. I'm saying I have it hard in the morning, but I mean, the negative doesn't work. That's how. Mom, could you get my water bottle? I'm like, it's, no, you, that's not it. I want to teach you responsibility. You can't teach me responsibility at 8 o'clock in the morning. When you're in that and the couple's coming, you want them because you're so frustrated that they're not ready.
You hear that, Robert? Someone told me. They said that, we were going crazy, like.
Yeah.
If someone told me that I should buy like a box of donuts, like, hey, here, this is from where Dianetics, we love this, but we love this too. Here you go. See what's in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and the guy has said that he was getting what do you call it? Things for war. That's what they make, a manufacturer, make drones and whatever. And they were threatened that because they're making armaments for Israel, that they're going to be protested. They said, actually, we don't sell to Israel. You're welcome to come. And they had blue and white bagels for them in the morning. Come. And they, yeah, and they didn't come, but they were like, we're ready for you. Come, welcome. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So here he says also a child, it reacts to his surroundings. So the surroundings in the house is always screaming and yelling and frustration. What do you expect? You expect the kid to be a lovey-dovey? No, but if the surroundings is lovey-dovey, it's gonna be hard for that kid to be the screamer, the going out of that box, right? Everything around, bro. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. And Moroccans have an extra dose of screaming anger. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it still makes the house count.
Our baseline. That's our thing.
The ones that immigrate just started from really house, they have like long for phone calls on Sunday morning.
Hello. Okay.
Sunday morning, bro. It's like 5 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Ima, Meme, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm screaming. And for 45 minutes. Yeah, and they're too.
That's how it is. If the surroundings are screaming intense, what do you expect from the kid? If the surroundings is love and look, we're not perfect. We're human beings. We're not serenity, and we're not gonna walk out of here. There's gonna be a lovey-dovey in heaven. We gotta start changing the attitude a little bit, or focusing on the attitude. And often we're like so much that the kid's misbehaving. He's misbehaving at school. Like, just get out of the house or something. I don't know. You don't say it, but like frustrating, right? Try to find the good. Like, you woke up on time. Wow, that's amazing, right? Oh, you made your bed. Everything else could be that this kid is doing that day is crazy. But okay, you know what? Chazak Baruch, you made your bed. You came down on time.
You brush your teeth.
There's someone that I met with that I met with not long ago, and he's going through a tough situation, right? But I wanted to try finding like a good start to our conversation, because he knows it's gonna be a tough conversation. And I know this person sometimes comes late, often comes late to things. And he was on time at the meeting when we met. I said, you came on time. But I did it on purpose to start with like the positive, to start with the story of a rabbi and students. And this student was so difficult. And he had a mentality, he wanted to try finding something good in each student and to really harp on that and to like stress that. And this kid, he couldn't find anything nice. He just, I don't know why, he just couldn't find anything nice. And the kid handed in a test, and the handwriting was so nice. He says, Did you write this in your handwriting?" He said, "Yes, my handwriting." And now he found the thing. He said, "This is the best handwriting. I want you to be the one to rewrite my tests for the students and this." And he made this kid feel like $1 million, even though he's such a difficult kid. But from that point, finding even one point that's so good about the kid, that could change. That could change a lot.
You know which coach they said that about? But that's why they called him Zen Master, because it was all about tranquility and positivity.
Really?
Yeah, that's how he managed all those guys.
Right.
Like when Rodman left and went to wrestling in the middle of the NBA Finals, they said, "Don't leave him alone."
The wrestling?
Yeah. He left in the middle of the NBA Finals and went to.
Oh, wrestling game, watch a game. Yeah.
No, he was on wrestling.
Oh, really?
show in the middle of the NBA
Oh
finals.
my
And
gosh.
he said, go find him, he's been suspended. And so Jack said, leave him alone. Don't say anything to him. He came back, the next thing he had 17 rebounds, like his best game.
No way.
Kareem was this guy.
Wow. Wow.
What they called him the Zen master.
Like he knew how to
Yeah.
so important, so important. He says also, imagine you're walking into a store and the store is about to close. And there's two ways that you can come in. Now, or let's say they just closed the door on your face, right? And they're right, they're on the right. It's like it's 4 o'clock and they close the door, it's 4 o'clock. You get there, it's 4:01. Bang it, come on, open the door! 4:01, what's the deal? Right? What do you think they're gonna open the door? They're gonna give you the finger and get out of here, right? Whatever, right? Or you say, please, I have to buy something. Or stop feeling well, please, I need to the guy can have Rahmanut. Right? How do you come across? That's how they're gonna react. You're gonna come across crazy, they're gonna come back crazy. You're gonna come across nice, they're gonna come back, usually they're gonna come back nice as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of a side point. This I just wrote in my own notes. I remember taking a course once called NLP. I don't know what NLP stands for, but you can Google it and find what NLP stands for. But NLP was basically, I haven't used this in a while, but this could be a good, I don't know, even rabbi and congregate relationship, whatever. But it's if you if you mimic the behaviors of the person you're speaking to, then your message could get across to them faster because you're the same. So we just spoke about if you're coming off good, please can you open the door for me, please? Then that's what they're getting. They usually will come back to you the same, right? So this person, I remember telling us, even in your body language, the person's playing with a pen in his hand. Put a pen in your hand. Person's arms are crossed, cross your arms as well, right? There's something equal there. Now your message could get across to them. I hope I don't do like this witchcraft on you guys. Don't worry. But with our children, it naturally happens. Right, right. Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you, I remember I asked this person a question, and I said I used to go to an Israeli yeshiva. And in Israeli yeshiva, we had Mexicans in the yeshiva, Mexican Jews, and הם היו מדברים עברית כמו ספרדי. מדברים עברית ככה. But it's so funny that when I would speak to them in Hebrew, אני הייתי מדבר איתם כמו שאני מדבר עם ספרדים. ואני הייתי מדבר עם הישראלים בישראלית. And people that saw this, they said, what are you doing? Do you have a Spanish accent? Do you have a Hebrew accent? I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just talking to the guy, right? So I asked this person teaching the course, and I said, like, am I crazy? Like, I don't know. He said, I mean, whatever. He said you have a very good natural connection to people that therefore naturally you want to connect with them. So you naturally talk to them, and I remember once I felt so embarrassed. I was talking to a lady, it was English accent, and I started talking in an English accent, and like she thought like I was trying to get her to. I'm like sorry, I don't know what happened, but it was what is NLP, right? Neuro linguistic programming. Our brain, our nervous system, the language we use, our learned pattern and habits work together to shape behavior, thoughts, and emotions. Yeah. So this was so NLP with your kids. If you're acting in a serene, in a calm way, what's going to come back? He actually gave an opposite example also. He said that there was I'm just trying to remember exactly how it went. There was a person that didn't know how to make sales, or I forget exactly. Basically, the opposite was this person would come out screaming at you, and everybody would be scared. The natural thing is like you scream, okay, right? But when you return with a scream, you could overpower them. Like, but if you're in the same, so that's the negative, right? If you're in the same thing, then there's so if I'm in the same thing, also in the calmness and the love, that's what I'm gonna get back. Okay. That's the koach of emun, the koach of believing in our child, sending them love, believing in them. Okay, we are moving along. Kids sometimes say, "Oh, the Rebbe loves that kid and not me." Right? They're like, "Yo, you're a teacher's pet," right? Because sometimes it shouldn't be this way, but or sometimes God, kids say, "Oh, he's your favorite son, not me," right? So like. I remember with my daughter, Baruch Hashem, now with baby Mazel, but we just had Esther for 9 years. So I always say, "You're my favorite daughter. You're my favorite daughter." She's the only daughter, right? You're my favorite daughter. And then when Mazel was born, and I always say, "You were my favorite daughter for 9 years." Now you're tied. I said, "No." I said, "Now you're tied. I can't give one over the other." I said, "Now you're tied. You're my favorite daughter for 9 years." My favorite old daughter. Yeah, yeah. So, so why does it happen that sometimes, let's say, teachers make a mistake of of favorites because they see this kid has potential. They see this kid's listening. They see this, so naturally they want to connect to that. So because the kid has potential, that means I believe in him. I believe in him. I'm giving him more. The other kids don't believe in you guys. That's what you're feeling. But as a parent, we have to believe in all of our children, and therefore we want every child to feel like they're that favorite child. Not favorite, they're a special child in the eyes of their parents. This is I believe in them, just like that teacher that believes in that. That's why that kid feels special, or other kids notice, is because he's getting believed in. The teacher says, "I could see potential." We have to look at our children and say, "I see potential in my kids. I see potential in each and every one of them, and they could be great." Why is it? He goes into a little bit of a deeper level. Why is it? Why is it so important that that child needs to be believed in order for this love transfer to happen? In order for this to build up the child, why does it have to happen? Why is it like that? And he explains on a deep level. He says, when a child's born, subconsciously he realizes he is not in control of anything. He needs his parents to feed him, to clothe him, everything. I need to be believed in. I need help. If I am abandoned, if my parents now, so if my parents don't love me, I cry. If I feel like I'm going to die. I feel like where are my parents? What do I, what's going on? I start crying. At a later stage, so that is from infancy. A baby from infancy, they're hungry, they start crying. It means they feel like they're gonna die. They feel like I'm abandoned. That's in us at infancy. And therefore, when we get older, that still is a need from we need that from our parents. We need that someone's taking care of me, someone believes in me. There's an island for me, as you said. Like there's someone there that loves me, that cares for me. So important, and that's in us from the beginning. There was once a student that came, the great rabbi of Natan Tzvi Finkel, the Rosh Yeshiva, the Mir Yeshiva. Privileged to see him, unbelievable. He was at a wedding, and a kid that maybe in other yeshivas, basically the way he explained, he had a big hairdo. He came over and he says, "My dear Rosh Yeshiva, how are you?" Whatever. He was at, and the Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel was at a wedding. Another rabbi was there. He says, "Those are the type of kids you have in your yeshiva? Big hair in the front?" So Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel said, yeah, he said, if he says, well, if he said, then I would not have been accepted in the Mir Yeshiva. If you cut this type of kid out, I would have not been able to pass. And his own story is he grew up in Chicago, a regular kid. Nothing speaking how regular. It seems like he went to public school, but his uncle was the Rosh Yeshiva in the Mir before him. His uncle. He was Shomer Shabbat. He seems from a modern Orthodox family, and he wanted to learn for a year in Israel. But this is way back in the 50s or something. And his uncle, um, he he made an extra effort to love his nephew and to care for his nephew and he told him, why don't you, he saw he was a smart kid, but he said, why don't you come and start a transfer to the Mir Yeshiva? And why don't you? And basically from that one to the next, one to the next. And he ended up staying in the Mir Yeshiva, this, and eventually becoming the Rosh Yeshiva of the biggest yeshiva in the world. And you think, like, he was a Chicago boy who knew baseball. He came with a baseball cap to Israel. Like mind blowing. Israelis that are in the yeshiva, this and that, that don't know that. Like, this is where he said, so the Rabbi Nassim Finkel said to him, you would have X'd me if that was right. But he said, my uncle believed in me. My uncle saw the kid with jeans, he came with jeans also, and he believed in me. And he believed in me, and that's why I'm here. If he didn't believe in me, then where would I have been? Chicago, yeah, North Carolina is also in Chicago, but yeah. So this now transitions to the next step, whereas we're sending love, believing in our children. The next step is judging favorably. Is because things could happen. I could always judge them negatively and spin it negative on them, right? Judging favorably. There's always two ways how to look at things. We have to do our best to judge the kids favorably, let them speak their let them have an opinion, let them speak their reason. This as well, because if they're always going to see we're negative on them, we're against them, that could erode the belief. Well, I believe in you. So explain yourself. Let's do this. That's the next step. Unbelievable. He says that Rav Hoffman met an 18-year-old Alvarian in Tel Aviv, a really bad kid. And he sees that this kid's a smart kid. And like he was smart for the level of the kids that were in the street that were doing the things he did. Like this kid was, you're better than that. Why are you acting like this? You're a smart kid. He's nah, I need tembel. I'm a tembel, a dumbbell. He says, you're not a tembel, man. You're a smart kid. I can see you're a smart kid. He says, like, no, I need tembel. They always called me tembel in school. So Hoffman dug into this kid's history. He went to his school and he said, who's his teacher? This kid was 18, so he just kind of graduated. Who's his teacher in 12th grade? Who's his teacher? And what happened was reports, and he goes very much against this, that reports should not be brought from one year to the next. For instance, I teach 12th grade. I should not get reports from the 11th grade teacher. Say, oh, this kid's like this kid's like this, kid's like this, because that makes an impression right away. Exactly. That makes an impression right away. That's what we're talking about now, koach hashvita, the judging. The judgment's already given to me. And it's so hard to change, right? Do the judgment yourself. You start fresh. And what happened was this kid, he dug into it. He was marked as a 10 bill in grade one. Grade one, because the Rebbe couldn't, or teacher couldn't take care of him. And every year to the next, there was paper trail. Oh, at the end of grade one, 10 bill. Every kid had a thing. And the next day, 10 bill. The kid's 18 years old, a smart kid. But because in grade one he's called 10 bill, that was it. Unbelievable. Huh? Unbelievable. I actually saw a similar thing. And okay, so what happened was every kid got they got the prize, they got the donut, except for him and another kid that was everybody knew he was a miscan, whatever it was, right? Him and another kid didn't get it. And one of the kids that got the donut turned to him and got riled up the whole class and pointed at him, you're jealous, you're jealous, you're jealous. And for some reason, so for us, okay, whatever, they forget this kid. That went so deep into him because it was connected to Gemara. Instead, he had like a phobia for Gemara. He couldn't learn Gemara. And until, now back to this Rabbi Stefanski, that he is learning his Gemara, but for 2 years, he's hearing Rabbi Stefanski's speech at the Gemara class, not opening the Gemara. And he said his kids would hear him, like, why are you not opening the Gemara? No, I can't open the Gemara. But it's all stemmed from that. Like one thing could. So parents, right? We're and here this kid was called a tembel, and it just carried on, right? Koach hashvita, judging. This guy was judged that we got to judge our kids in the proper way, which causes them to to feel good about themselves. We're judging them favorably. You're going to be good. You're going to be great. You could do it, etc. It brings a story of this is talking about judging. And he brings a story. Rabbi Orlowick is a great rabbi in Israel, still alive, and he had a very difficult student in the class, and this kid doesn't difficult student. One day, that difficult student's father came for whatever reason and screamed at his son, slapped his son in front of the people, in front of the Rebbe, for whatever little thing the kid did. And the Rebbe realized, oh my gosh, this kid's living with such a father, living in such a tense situation. No wonder why he acts out in class. No wonder why he's like this. And I can't judge him negatively based on that. Look at what he's going through. So sometimes we judge on what we see, but there's so much more going on behind the scenes. We're not supposed to judge properly. This is in a student teacher student relationship, right? Of course, we know our situation with our children, but we have to judge them favorably. They did something, try to understand why did they do it. And I say, we take we're our children's advocate. Take our children's side, understand, try to. Thank you. Wow, there's a special movie, right? A second. Okay, so let's see what the book. Let's see what the book. When we finish the wine, then we'll. Okay. Okay. Next step is ne'emanut. So we said belief, belief. We said judging them properly, and now ne'emanut. This is truthfulness. This is true. This is now on the parent side. This is that the child looks up to his parents, that they are truthful. They are not just saying this to me because I love you, just go to sleep. I love you, just listen to me. No. They're really truthful. If it's not true, the whole thing could fall apart. And the kids could smell that. It has to be truthful. He goes on and second. Yeah. Right. So ne'emanut is truthful. Your kids want to see that you're. I think I'm. That's the next one. That's emet b'sheker. Here it's ne'emanut. What's the that he could trust us? Not truthfulness. That the child could trust us. The child could trust us. So don't worry. We're coming to an end. We're coming to an end. The kids could trust us. So it's a classic thing in yeshiva. If you get caught, you get punished. If you open up and you admit to the rabbi in advance, usually you shouldn't get punished. Now they're going to try to help you. So let's say there's a no smoking rule. You get caught smoking. Hey, you got caught smoking. You're punished. You this or that. You open up, you say, Rebbe, I have an issue. I'm addicted to smoking. I have a problem. Can you help me out? Can you this? The reaction should be, no problem. I'm going to help you out. I know a friend. He did that, and he opened up. And his rabbi said, "Okay, you have an addiction to smoking. Please, just not on campus. Do me a favor. Go to the back. I'm going to turn a blind eye. Go smoke your cigarette. Come back. Right. So that is a thoughtful rabbi. That's there for the student. Right. He's not into the rule. He's there for the student. The worst case, he brings the case. The worst is he opens up to the rabbi. Let's say about smoking, and the rabbi kicks him out. What you do that? You're out. I came to admit, I came to try working on it. Try to, that's the worst, right? So this is also our children. If they get caught in school, they get caught with something done, right? They get caught. So okay, so there's consequences, but now they open up, and what we want is that our kids open up to us to get to that point in our relationship with them that they're telling us their secrets. Then you have a good relationship with your child. They're opening up to us. And when they open up to us, is our reaction, oh my gosh, you did that. No way, no way, no way. Oh, then that's it, you lost it. If they're opening up to us, then okay, I'm gonna deal with that. We're gonna work it out. A lesson that I learned on my own, but don't teach this to your children, is forgiveness is easier to attain than permission. Forgiveness is easier to attain than permission. I developed that one on my own when I was a teenager. So don't tell that to your kids though, right? Um, but that's because your parents, right? But that's because your parents are good parents and they will forgive, but they're not going to look at it the same way as forgiveness and permission. The same way permission, I'm going to give you a hard time to get the permission, and now you're asking for forgiveness. No, it shouldn't be. They're going to give you a hard time also. Oh, you're asking for forgiveness. Okay, my love. Okay, I understand you. Okay, etc. And therefore, when they ask for forgiveness, when they open up, we have to be recipients for them being vulnerable and opening up that we're there for them. We have to be that person for our child that they could trust us. They could trust us with their secrets. They could trust us with what they're going through. That they're going to that we're there for them. Um, he brings a case here where the father caught a child doing something very inappropriate. Doesn't say what he did, but whatever he did something very inappropriate. And the father's reaction was, but it was inappropriate, but it was inappropriate. But it seems like say this. I don't know. Basically, it was something inappropriate. It seems like, but the father's reaction was, and he caught his son. Let's say it was looking at something inappropriate, right? And he tells his son, "I see you're a normal human being." Meaning, not that a normal human being has to look at bad things. That we don't look at bad things, but a normal human being has those is attracted to those things. So the son says, "Oh my gosh, my father didn't give to me over the head. My father didn't like." Okay, my father kind of understands going through this challenge. This now I could discuss this with him. Now we could have now he could try to help me with this. Now father could, hey, I saw you the other day. Let's not talk about that. But how could this not happen again? Now there's a relationship there, right? As opposed to, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? And then there's no relationship there. It's over. It's cut. Right. So there has to be that when that you're going to open up to them. I spoke about how I love my parents and yeah, growing up, I never hid anything from them. I asked for forgiveness instead of permission. Sometimes that's how I developed that. But I was very open with them, and they and because I felt that they were there for me. They were there. They were not there with a stick waiting to catch me or whatever. They're always there. They're always there for me. Um, there's a few more examples of this, but we'll try to cut out those examples. I think we get the gist of this one. You want to get to that point in the relationship where the child will come to you on their own. and open up to you about things that are private or whatever. But it goes in steps. Love and not judging them, and being there for them. If the child is always afraid that my parents are going to punish me, that's it. It's not going to. There's times for punishment, but if they're always going to be afraid, oh my gosh, they're going to punish me. I can't tell them. I can't. It's not good. Here he gives an example. If your 3-year-old steals something from candy from the box he wasn't supposed to take, he was right. So and the other kid snitches, right? So you know now the kid's scared to the wits, right? So okay, like you don't if it's hard punishment, hard line, it's not gonna it's not gonna be good. There's got to be I need to Abba Mafchid. He says, yeah, I'm not a scary father. I love you. But this is not something you're supposed to do. We have rules for this. This not scary. I love you. Give him a kiss. You're gonna get candy later when you earn it, or at this time, or on Shabbat, or whatever it is, right? But you're better than that. You don't steal. You don't take things. You're good. There's ways how to do it where there's that trust. There's that connection. Okay. So maybe there's still few more pages, but we will pause here and we'll start the third class when we do the third class with this. The third class, I think the title is Chinuch in Mitzvot. So now, Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of mitzvot, Sukkah, Lulav, Tefillin, how Chinuch goes with that and more. But we'll finish this. We'll finish this first, and then we'll a few more points that are good over here. But to sum up, this is sharing, like loving whatever goes from your heart transfers to their heart. We want to make sure we're building on this, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving them koach ha'imun. We're believing in them. They could be amazing. They could do everything. We're believing in them. After believing in them is that we're not judging them. We're not already. That's it. Sidelining them. They're like this. They're in that box. Not judging. We are there for them in trust. They have to. We get to that point in the relationship where they trust us. We want to be there for them. Where if everything's hard line, it's not gonna go. If everything's shouting, it's if everything's negative, we want to be positive. We want to have positive talk. We want to spend time with them in enjoying them and just talking just for talking, not the 18 out of 19 times of talking negative. And hopefully we'll have good relationships with our children. Again, today's title was Hearts Full of Love. That's what it's all about. Sharing that heart full of love to our child, and it's going to reciprocate back. And Bezrat Hashem, we'll have amazing, loving children and loving relationship between parents and child. Thank you guys again for coming out. Sorry if it was a little longer than usual. We will continue next time. And again, greater and greater stuff. And part 4 is going to be at the Ben Street's house. There might be a change on date. We will let you guys know. That's going to be, I think it's called Discipline and Chinuch Extreme. So we'll keep the best for last. Police says, aiming, axe throwing.
Big sports fan like me, but so Jacksonville made the playoffs for the first time since 1999, but they lost.
Against the Bills.
Against the Bills yesterday.
Just
So
1999.
after the game, during the press conference, one of the reporters from the Jacksonville Free Press, it's like sweet looking, big kind of black lady, it says, "What's up, her hand?" Yes, it's John.